February is Black History Month, and we thought it was a perfect time to discuss the Underground Railroad and its ties to St. Catharines. Historian and author Rosemary Sadlier joins us this morning via Skype with more on this story. Thank you so much for joining us. This is the 25th anniversary of Black History Month, and I know that you were instrumental in, in making this a national commemoration. And I would imagine this year, 2021, is particularly important.
It is particularly important. I think that so many people now are so much more open to the possibility of considering and talking about the stories and the experiences of people of African descent. It's been a really challenging few months and gives a lot of us time to pause and consider what's really important in our lives.
Absolutely. Let's talk about Harriet Tubman. A couple of years ago, there was a Hollywood movie, Harriet, which was a big success and very important in terms of getting that story out to a younger generation. But that story, St. Catharines plays a huge role. Talk about Harriet, why St. Catharines, and the origins of the Underground Railroad.
Well, let's maybe go back to the origins. The origins of the Underground Railroad are based on the reality that at the time of this period, about the 1830s or so, the fastest mode of transportation was the train system. So when someone found that some of their enslaved Africans had disappeared, as far as he was aware, he assumed that maybe they'd been taken off by some kind of secret underground railroad. That was what made sense to him in the moment. And people worked with that and used it to provide coded terms for many of the elements of this very loosely organized system. It had Black people who were helpers, who were agents of change, and who were incredibly brave. The first step on the Underground Railroad was actually leaving your place of enslavement. But there were people who were of other racial backgrounds who were there to assist. And those were abolitionists. So abolitionists could be white, Black, or any race. Mm-hmm. In the St. Catharines case, St. Catharines was ideally situated, not just because of the great weather and the wonderful opportunities that St. Catharines provided for employment once people made their way into the area because of the hot springs and the hotel industry and the spa is essentially system of the time. But because there was the awareness by William Merritt that he needed to set aside land for people of African origin, and also there was a minister who knew that it was important to tend to the needs of this very needy community, probably really the first large group of immigrants coming into this country who needed so much support because they came literally with what they had could carry on their backs, which wasn't too much.
Yeah. Now, Harriet Tubman, referred to as Moses, an American icon, spent 10 years in St. Catharines.
Well, she spent 8 years in St. Catharines, and she lived at the corner of North and Geneva, North and Gray, I believe, and across the street from where the current Salem Chapel, British Methodist Episcopal Church of Canada exists.
And that church played a huge role as well. And I knew we were going to run out of time. Rosemary, thanks so much for joining us. We are going to link up your socials because it's an incredible history here that we need to learn more about on this Black History Month. Thank you so much for joining us on Morning Live.
Thank you, and congratulations to Harriet Tubman's church getting some money for the renovations.